Mr. Adastam.
Hi there.
And you, Mr. Gareth. I always forget you in the intros, but we'll bring you in this time. And it's again another Dota 2 chat for today on the O Show. It doesn't have to be. Actually,
and HOTS.
And HOTS and Overwatch. Exactly. And what else have you played?
Oh, competitively or?
Well, what are you? Well, right now it's Dota 2. You're back in the APG. We are going to go through your whole repertoire of games that you played in the last year. I'm going to have to ask you to speak up as well.
Okay, cool.
Use your outside voice.
My outside voice.
Yeah, outside voice. Yeah. So, Mr. Adastam, you've been around in the Dota scene for years.
4 years.
4 years. All right. So, yeah, because like you kind of just burst into the scene in, what was it, about 2012-ish? Like
End of 2012 was my first, I played OC. In
yes.
End of 2012.
Adam Biceps Moore. I remember seeing the. I remember seeing the post.
Name.
Yeah, I remember seeing the post on the Facebook page. Man, we're all young ones, and like I said, like most of the guys we've had on the show chatting about like their history in Dota, most of it stems back from just even Twilight Dota. Were you around in the Twilight days, or?
I was around in the Twilight days, but only got internet 4 years ago. So I was mostly when I was at LANs and.
So that was the thing holding you off from competitive players,
so I'd only
actually being able to play online.
I'd only play when I went to LANs or anything. And then
that's a major rate limiting step. Like
pretty much.
It is, yeah, I mean, like I also, like I think I only got internet in like, very late compared to other people. I can't remember what year exactly, but like just, we had dial-up, but that was like work
I want to
only.
be a professional cricketer, but they don't have pitches in my
no cricket bats, you know. But so 2012 to the end of 2012, beginning 2012 is when you kind of just burst on, and I'm trying to remember what the team I remember seeing you in, or actually even casting you in.
I was in IFG back then.
Yes, it was the old IFG team, and then I remember also seeing you at the Energy guys as well. Back when
2014.
Yeah, when Energy had the two teams, you guys took part in the DGL, and the other guys took part in the NGL.
Yeah,
I can't remember all these names.
It's our historian.
Yeah,
gotta get a list.
And that was it. I mean, like you were probably one of the more feared solo mid players.
I posted a 1v1 with ACG that will vouch for that.
Yeah. But I mean, let's talk about that. That kind of starts to competitive Dota. You know, with IFG, with Energy, and all the teams now. Obviously, APG. You brought your little mascot dragon with you here today.
Lucky.
little sponsor plug there. So tell us about Adastam and his your competitive career so far.
Okay, well, as you know, I started in 2012. I actually started with a bunch of mates, like just potato people. We're all potato. We called ourselves Noobs Are Us. And then
I remember that.
NSQ. And then I started playing ranked like all the time, and then I got further ahead of the pack than the rest of my team. And then I got scouted by KKNP back when they were still Prem with Demonic. Then I played for them.
No, Demonic's in my current Dota team. That's
then I played with them.
We're all potatoes now.
Yeah. And then I guess it went from there. I kept going up the team after I kept getting scouted. And then I eventually played for Ian back in 2014. It was only for like a month. They only asked me to join them for the Rage.
Yeah.
So it was only for a short time. So I played for them. We came second at Rage. And then, that's my Dota career took a stop there.
Came second, screw it.
Yeah, second wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
Then I started again this year in APG. So
What? Tell us what happened in that between stage. What did you do in that between stage?
Okay, well,
I found Scientology and
I found myself.
Look, there's actually, you know, back when what we're kind of alluding to here is your Heroes of the Storm, and you guys did well. You won basically the only tournament that ever happened in South Africa for Heroes of the Storm. You won the
finished undefeated.
Yeah,
it's like my squash career. I played one game and won it.
Yeah, you guys finished at the top. I mean, the competition was pretty much there was only yourself and the Energy guys as well in the Heroes of the Storm scene, and I mean, the tournaments led up to it, the scrims, whatever happened, I'm not too sure. But like the games were okay. But then the final was really tight. I mean, it ended 3-2 between
3-1.
3-1, that's right. Yeah. Energy almost won the second game. Then they threw it away. They won the first game, almost won the second. Then they just threw it away. But the games were, I mean, I guess a lot tighter than a lot of people thought. I mean, you were the two top teams there. And you seemed pretty, I mean, you and a lot of other people seemed really into Heroes of the Storm at the time. I mean, I remember you talking a lot about some coaching, some guides, stuff like that, helping out other teams and, trying to do your part for the Heroes of the Storm community. And it just, I mean, obviously not your fault at all, but I mean the scene just kind of just went straight down.
Straight down. Yeah.
But I mean it's not South Africa's fault at all. It's kind of just the fault of what a terrible game Heroes of the Storm actually was, and the saturated market that they try to get into.
Yeah. I think there are a couple of things. I mean, the one was Overwatch is on the way, and you had Blizzard it felt like, which horse do we back? And HOTS wasn't really bringing the return that they wanted. Walking into a saturated market, I mean, trying to launch a MOBA now, I mean, might as well try to invent a hamburger.
They got it onto ESPN. They got the HOTS comps onto ESPN.
But you have to wonder how much of that is just influence. That's Activision and Blizzard might just be able to get those connections and get things going. But I have to wonder if it was always kind of doomed, if you know what I mean. They weren't doing that much. It felt, at least from our side, internationally. You didn't have a TI or a World Champs or that sort of thing. I mean,
I was never really.
It's quite popular at the college level there. There's Heroes of the Dawn.
Gave away bursaries as well to Ivy League schools, or not Ivy League colleges, but very high up colleges in the States. The guys had one got like a $50,000 bursary.
College and Clown College.
Yeah, and I think the biggest problem before we get back to the actual podcast, just to say something quick about HOTS and you talk about Overwatch is, if you look at Blizzard's direction when they launched HOTS, it was a casual MOBA. It sort of picked up competitively. It got to a competitive stage where it kind of stagnated a bit and then fell off because there wasn't really a focus from Blizzard in terms of it being a competitive esport. It's almost like 2K's Battleborn. There's no real focus. It's a casual game. Have fun, play with your friends. But then you look at the direction for Overwatch. They've hired in people in all sorts of different esports departments. They're still hiring people in esports departments. Their push is majorly for esports.
When did the MLG purchase happen? It was in between the launch of HOTS and...
It was 2000, beginning of this year, 2016.
So in between the launch of HOTS and then the launch of Overwatch. So it felt like their strategy towards esports matured in between that stage. And you wonder if the HOTS thing had already been okay, cool, well, let it die a slow death or whatever. They're still releasing Heroes for it, and it's still a viable. Yeah, I mean
that's just kind of a oh cool new game out Tracer. Let's put Tracer into the thing. Then they bring out they are still bringing out Heroes, but I
saw Medivh's out now.
Mediv, okay, interesting. But you just still play HOTS until about a week. You said about a week or two ago.
A few weeks ago, yeah.
Still playing for you. You were kind of between two organizations. You were playing for WRG, and you were playing for
Reversal Esports.
Reversal Esports, and you were playing APG. Dota2.
Yes.
But I mean that was obviously your main focus was the Dota.
Yes.
And you're no longer playing solo mid, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I'm playing carry position 1 now.
You prefer it?
I miss mid. Yeah. Because I've played mid for a better part of 3-4 years, and then this is my first time actually playing a different position. So I'm still comfortable on it, but just missed the.
I have a question in terms of you said you kind of got scouted by different teams and you were chatting to Travis last week, and he said similar story. You kind of play well in your team, you get noticed by another team, they ask for a couple of scrims, or all of a sudden you get headhunted and move up kind of the tiers. Do you find that, I mean, he was also a mid player, yourself a mid player, it's easier to get spotted out in certain positions, the kind of flashy, high impact on the game sort of positions that it's easy to observe as an opponent, the opposing team or someone watching. It's quite easy to observe the plays of you want to say core players. I feel like it'd be harder, like flash in the pan, to just notice great support play. You have to. That's the kind of thing that you notice kind of over a longer period of games.
I think it's easier in that respect with the lower tier teams. Yeah. Because supporting a bad carry,
exactly.
You're never going to get noticed, that kind of thing. But like as a carry or mid, you can still.
You can make a difference
for the 1v9 mode.
Yeah.
But kind of thing.
I think it's kind of a weird thing to think about, because the higher teams, the much better teams, will notice a good support. They'll notice a good support immediately, because they can see between. If you say it's true, if they're supporting a shit carry, they're going to look bad because they.
Exactly.
But if you're a top team, say now APG, you guys are watching. You happen to just stumble upon an open div game, and you see the support guy. His positioning is perfect. His timing is perfect. Everything's done. He's stacking. He's doing all the things a support should do. But his carry is missing a lot of creeps. Carry's not there to protect him. But his movement along the map is good. That's something you guys would notice immediately.
Yes.
But other guys who are just just maybe pushing into first div, or maybe just on the edge of prem, they might not notice the support. They'll notice maybe the solo mid doing really well. And that's why I agree with you 100%, is that if you're now playing against Bravado and you're still playing solo mid and you're giving Seema walloping in mid, people will notice that.
But that's the thing, is they talk
people will talk about it. They'll say, "Man, did you see Adam just absolutely wreck Seem in mid?" I mean, it has happened before. I mean, Seem doesn't always win mid, but 9 times out of 10 he does. And
Tidehunter versus Lycan.
yeah. Like the thing, like that's and it's actually very good that you bring that up, because a lot of guys always ask us, how do we get noticed? And you pretty much described it perfectly. It's a group of friends, work on yourself, outshine everyone else, and then people are like, cool, come get this guy.
One of the things I did was networking. When I first started,
sure.
My brother actually gave me advice. He said, go to all the top tier teams, add everyone.
Yeah.
Half of them won't accept you, but add them all.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. I went to
You
all
only
the
need
top
one
teams.
good team to accept you.
So I went to all the top teams in Prem. I went to the DGL list on everyone in Prem, and I started adding everyone on Steam. And half of them didn't accept me.
Yeah, because you and they must get a lot of spam.
Yeah, and then
invites,
I kind of started trying to network through that as well.
Yeah.
And then,
but that's advice you've given to people before on the show, is that like a lot of it is you and what you can do.
You have to go out and talk to people.
There are thousands of people at your skill level. And the thing is, you need to get noticed. And sometimes it's that, it's just that one person goes, yeah, cool, come join us for scrim. We're one short. We need a
exactly
or whatever. And you play and you do well. And they're like, hey, do you want to do this?
The IHL and those sort of things as well. Like
you need to be on a friends list for that thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there's little in-house leagues that people used to run.
Yeah.
Like, remember, it went for a while. Now, obviously, guys,
it always comes and goes.
Yeah, I mean, it's a system that's, in the end, it ends up being, okay, well, the same sort of 10, 15 people are always playing. Let's just rather just do mixes.
Yeah.
The same thing happened in pickups for CSGO. The same thing happened. People's always most of the games, always the same 10 people wanting to play against each other. Like, cool, why do we need a pickup system? Let's just, go onto our own private server and play against each other, and we just do this every single night. But the thing about the whole being noticed thing as well is, like, also when you get to these live events, like you say, you go to Rage, then you actually meet these guys, and then you bring up the awkward, I did add you on Steam, like, oh, sorry, man. And then you literally walk them to their PC, like, there's my name there, and then they click, and it's cool. Now we sorted.
Under blocked users.
We'll see you online next time.
Can see the nickname.
Yeah.
Not friends.
But I mean, also, like, the obviously the biggest thing, I think something we haven't actually really spoken about much in these podcasts as with our guests is, like, just the use of social media. Like I said, I first noticed you posting a lot on the Facebook page,
you've
the
been
Dota
doing
group,
quite a bit. I've noticed.
And this was a long. Yeah. Nowadays, like the brands and stuff like that, they almost want you to always be active on social media.
It's such an important part of this thing.
That's the difference.
Esports becoming like it is in pro regular sports. Is that the guys need to turn into almost pre-celebs. They use the term in social media, pre-celeb, because it's like a celeb is known throughout gaming and sports and fashion and whatever. So like Trevor knows a celeb, but our rugby players are like pre-celebs, if you know what I mean. Like, they're only known if you know rugby. I'm telling you, my mom wouldn't know half the South African rugby team.
I think Graham Smith drove past us the other day. I don't know who he was. I know who Graham Smith is, but
I know what he looks like.
But I know, and it kind of looks like, and Luca actually almost drove into him, including the intersection. He's like, oh, there's Graham Smith. And I was like, what? But like, that's the
famous
thing.
For this fashion I'm about to be in.
Yeah. I was like, we almost sidelined him there. But it's true. Like now, in terms of networking and stuff, like it's not only limited to finding these people on Steam. It's, if you stay active, I mean, you don't want to really annoy people on Facebook. You don't want to always post and argue and stuff like that. But just like staying active, giving your input into things,
and giving away rad sets. That helps as well. Like.
Yeah. But did you do a giveaway?
Yeah. I've done a few giveaways now.
Yeah, I also did the same to try in effort to grow my social media.
Switch.
No, it's important. I mean, people love, if you want to grow a social media, and especially through any esport. I mean, if you're doing CSGO, you give away skins. If you're doing Dota, you give away sets and stuff like that.
Compendium levels, whatever.
I actually still had, when I stopped Dota, I still had so many nice items in my inventory. I think I had a pudge hook, which I lent to a friend, and then his account got hacked and it was gone. Sure. But I still had such nice sets, and then I realized I looked at their value a couple of months ago, and I saw they were just like, and I was like, oh, there's some CSGO guns for me. I just sold everything. but that's true. I mean, something we haven't really ever touched on. Now I'm glad we're speaking about it. It's just the power of social media, and I think a lot of players don't understand. I mean, I started doing this experiment on Twitter lately because I'm trying to build my following on Twitter because I've just been told to, and you just follow like 500 people, you'll get like 200 followers from that. Then you just go and follow those people. Then you follow another 500 people, and then you get another 300 followers, and then you unfollow all those people. And it's actually crazy. I mean, it's just, people need to learn these things, and I wish a lot more guys would look into their social media and be like, cool, this is how I build a presence.
You have to put the work
in. It is. And I'm so lazy when it comes to that.
Like, just buy followers. But the problem is like, how the algorithms
can you
work.
Actually do that? Can you
buy followers? The problem is that like you're getting dead followers. And then what happens is when you're saying you want a following so that you can get like sponsors, you can get people to get to.
You also don't get engagement back.
And that's the problem.
So you don't buy engagement.
It's honestly better to have 100 followers where you're getting 50% engagement. So if you tweet something, if 50 people like, respond, whatever, that's amazing, those response rates. Than to have 1 million followers and only get 50 people responding. Because then they're like, you basically have dead followers. There's no point in us putting any sponsorship in your hands.
Fake accounts.
Yeah, fake accounts.
That's actually true, because I look at some of these local Facebook pages for the different gaming organizations and brands or whatever, and like they make a post and it gets like 1 like, but their followers,
how do you have 7,000 followers?
Or even over 1 million, like over 1 million followers, like you have like 2 likes on your page. I mean, like, if you look at the people, like the celebrities and stuff with like 1 million followers, they get like 800,000 shares and 200,000 likes. It's like a Snapchat photo or something like that.
And the thing is, I used to work in sponsorship and that sort of stuff. So there was a thing called Twitter Gate actually, where this first came up, that people used to buy followers, and a whole bunch of celebs were exposed, because now there are all these algorithms. You can literally go online and you can check your personal, you can put your whatever your tag is, and it'll say you've got 80% legitimate followers, 20% inactive, whatever.
So you're telling me those hot girls following me on Twitter aren't real?
They might not be real. You might have been catfished.
Living the dream there for a little.
I don't click their profile links, but I can only assume they're not legit. But anyway, back to the topic at hand. So APG now. You did say you moved from the solo mid to the carry role, number 1. You and me here. The roles of, like, when you played solo mid back when, let's say 2013, when I was still paying attention to a lot of the Dota, has that kind of role sort of changed a bit? Is it still is that perhaps one of the decisions why you made a move? Is the role kind of more, because I remember like sometimes with a really strong solo mid, it was sometimes hard to differentiate between like the true carry of the team. Sure, everyone have their positions where farm is dedicated to a carry, but like solo mids were just so good. They were so crucial. And like this was before 2 ruins, this was before any of those new items came out. This was literally just based on raw power in the solo mid.
Playstyle, definitely.
Is it?
I mean, you've seen some teams that they're death ball, and therefore getting mid level 6 within 4 minutes or so is important. And so the mid is almost the carry, and your actual carry is almost your safety net. In case you can't steamroll him in 15 minutes, he's your okay, cool, we've got another 15 minutes because he's been rising for the last the whole
making
time.
Space for him.
And do you think you're playing solo mid, having to always watch your lane, be very cautious of the timing of the creeps and keeping equilibrium and stuff like that? Do you think that actually aided you to be like a better carry player?
Oh yeah, definitely. I used to run drills actually, where I just pick SF mid and go mid and don't level anything, and then try to keep the lane equilibrium.
Oh, okay. Just keep it up. And
that's actually where I learned to keep the lane equilibrium, and then I guess that helped me a lot with that's just a simple thing about carrying. That was just like the laning phase kind of thing. But that definitely helped me a lot. But I wasn't actually I was asked to come as carry on APG.
Okay.
It wasn't like I was given the opportunity.
Who is the solo mid at the moment?
ACG. Because they already had it.
Confusing as hell on the team.
Yeah, because there's a team named ACG.
Yeah,
APG.
We call APG. His name's ACG.
ACG. Isn't there a team also called APG? No. Okay.
Because they already had an established team.
Yeah.
But I can't remember who their carry was, but he was a pretty relatively bad player. And then they asked me to join as carry for the team. So, so that's where.
Yeah, and you guys have got a big game tonight. You're playing against Energy for the Immortal.
Yeah.
That's going to be good. Who's casting that? No.
Not that I know.
No one.
Probably old Hellbird. I'm not sure.
Oh yeah, that'll be cool. I mean, that's what 8 p.m.
Yeah, at 8.
Interesting. And then how are you feeling for that match? Do you think it's going to be a touch and go, or do you guys feel confident?
Pretty confident. I'll never say any game's easy, but you got to feel confident. Otherwise, you're not going to go anywhere. I feel confident about it. I never underestimate teams either. So
if you had to summarize your guys' play style, what do you think would be? I mean, I'm not trying to give any tips away. I'll only see Energy will only see this podcast after the game's been played. But I mean, a lot of guys, you think of guys like Alliance, they're pretty much known for a sort of split push. And when those are strong in the meta, they tend to do well. When it's not strong in the meta, they tend not to do as well. Other teams, newbie, more known for kind of skirmish, death ball sort of strategy. Kind of APG, what do you reckon
well, with Phalanx, anything's possible. We don't really play the split push often. Like I feel comfortable in the split push, but it's something obviously as a team you got to work around completely and have the right wards and everything.
Yeah.
But we more around the mid game, like 4-man death ball, split push kind of thing.
And then make space for your
so
carry.
it's kind of like they'll be fighting there while I'm taking towers somewhere else.
Because when I cast your game, was it 2 weeks ago against MDK, the one thing I noticed that we analysed in the draft was that you seem to prioritise either getting or banning vision heroes. So getting rid of Bounty, getting rid of Beastmaster, or getting them yourselves, Ricky's, those sort of heroes. Because I know Valve have done a lot of work recently in terms of any spell that gives you vision has become
very crucial.
Been nerfed. Wards are cheaper. They're trying to make it show that like vision is super important.
Yeah.
Keeping towers is important. And so is that an over-analysis of what you guys play, or is vision super important in terms of how you guys play?
When the enemy lacks vision, it's easier to make plays and stuff. So we mainly do it for that. So we also ban like the Beastmaster Disruptor because we just don't want them to play the vision game. We don't want enemy to play the vision game. So we can take advantage of that.
Okay.
This kind of thing.
No, 100%. No, because you don't want to give teams too much credit. You're like, oh, they're banning those heroes because they're popular, or because they're actually...
Because when a team has like a Beastmaster Night Stalker, it makes it very hard to run around the map.
And to take skirmishes and all that. Yeah. And you're talking about your mid days. Favorite mid matchup? Personally, like what hero versus what hero? I mean, there's obviously the classic SF, but like Pop, those sort of things. What are your favorite matchups?
Sure, I haven't actually thought
about what's your favorite mid hero to start?
My favorite mid hero is Winona.
Okay. Yeah, I saw that in the 1v1 against ACG.
Do they still do those 1v1 tournaments?
There aren't as many. I really enjoy casting them because they're so much fun, and you can really focus on what those two guys are doing. And obviously when you're jumping around the map, there's a lot more to watch. But recently, Adam and Chad had a challenge for a copy of Overwatch or something.
For a copy of Overwatch.
Really? Who was buying?
Our manager.
Okay.
Export.
Okay, awesome.
Because I wanted Overwatch, so I was like, Rick, if I did this 1v1 and I win, will you get me Overwatch? He's like, yes.
I take it you won.
Chad, 1v1.
So I take it you won because you have been playing Overwatch. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I remember Odu, myself and a couple of other guys in Knoxville, we used to run the Slam City 1v1 back in the day. That was awesome. There was just banter, like there was a little 1v1 comp. I think there was like some skins up for grabs. I can't remember exactly what the format was, but we used to run that quite a bit, the Slam City 1v1.
Mainly for the fame.
Yeah, it was just like, just the bragging rights. I think it wasn't always like one winner. Like Donnie won once, I think Seam won once.
I think Kids like won quite a few.
Yeah, Darren also won one or two, and like they like, I don't know, like those 1v1 tournaments, as you say, they're fun to cast. They're like they're most of the time you spend time like just talking shit.
Party chat is great.
Yeah,
so commenting. Like.
End up watching just the spectator chat.
We used to have like 4 commentators, like just 4 people talking about the game, and just like it was just absolute chaos. But the one thing, Darren was here the other night for Luca's birthday, and he was saying like he doesn't enjoy like playing like he loves tournaments, he loves like playing in these comps, stuff like that, but in terms of just individual practice, like he says a lot of the guys are finding it really hard to get motivated to just play every single day, grind out ranked. Do you ever feel like you just have had enough of Dota and you just like you just can't?
Like that, yes. Mainly from like you play a game and then you try to communicate with people and you try your best and then people are just unresponsive.
But even like 5 stacks, like Darren said, even like in playing, he says like it's no fun playing with a stack of 5 because there's a zero competition. Like playing ranked SA, and like even
that's when you do quests.
Yeah. What is your compendium level right now?
It's only like 32.
But that's because you didn't buy levels, right?
Ryan 0. He bought, I think his compendium's now at like 954.
What?
My manager's
they want to get to
1,200 or something.
Because they want the little ages.
Yeah, like he's like, because he was saying like the other day he was like, oh yeah, payday Steam sale, and he just sent a photo of getting all the levels on Dota. I was like, cool. But he's like now like talking about your old HOTS team, the old Bravado guys. Like they've all kind of just split. Like Garian's playing Overwatch now. Ryan's a working man. Who else is it? Skiblet's playing with the same team. Kaz has his own team as well. Like everyone's just like, oh, you didn't play with Kaz. Taylor took your place when you left Bravado, right?
Yes.
Taylor, yeah. But like that whole team, like, has just disappeared now. And then
Kaz is in reversal now for Overwatch, and then Gray and Skiblet are with you and your team. Yeah, I think.
And I mean, like you say you are in a team for the Arena Ladder thing as well. You guys are playing in a team for that, right? Aren't you playing in a team for Overwatch?
I was. Reserve.
Oh, you just reserve. Yeah, don't worry, me too, man. I'm also just reserve. But I do my due diligence and watch a lot of Overwatch and stuff like that. But have you watched any competitive Overwatch?
I've watched a few games.
It's fun, right? Am I the only one who thinks it's like really interesting to watch? Like, Like it's a
very
quick game.
fun
It's
to
5
watch.
minutes a half, and usually
But I
5 10
normally
minutes.
put that time into Dota, like trying to watch the tournament stuff.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a couple of great comps on.
Because I
Obviously,
have
the
to
EU.
draft now.
Oh, you the drafter now?
Okay.
Well, that's always fun. I mean, drafting.
It's
I used to
new-
love
it's
drafting.
new to me, actually.
Really?
Because I was always I've never drafted before in all my years of Dota.
You were the guys that just sat there listening to music while the draft is happening, and then
pretty
like,
much.
chirping.
Never paid
I want this
attention.
hero. Well, it
You
doesn't really
should
fit
have
the
picked
draft.
this.
Yeah.
What do you do?
And as soon as you lose, draft.
I
seriously.
always blame the draft.
Yeah.
and so you have it in your own hands, looking at drafting. And are you one of those carries who drafts around yourself?
No, I don't really mind what carry I pick.
Yeah.
Like most of the time when I play people, it's like there's like 3-4 carry bands. I'm totally chilled with playing whatever carry suits the team. I just want my team to have something strong to play off
to
of.
win their lands.
Because I want them to win the lane. Like I'm fine with what happens to me
You
as
become
long as
neutral. You think?
as long as because I feel comfortable playing from behind.
Okay.
So as long as I think my team is doing well, I know like the game will go well.
Looking at the teams right now, I mean, obviously your biggest comp so far is this whole Masters thing. They haven't announced exactly when it's going to happen, but you can't. Everyone who we've spoken to has been like June, July.
Basically next month.
Yeah. So next month, I mean, looking at the teams right now, I mean, it's I would say yourself, Carbon, WRG, and Bravado. I mean, they are sort of. And Ian,
Ian, part of the Masters though.
Oh,
no, they're not. They're not.
Yeah.
But I'm saying in terms of
competition-wise.
competition-wise, there's a sort of a 5 stable. And one thing we talked to Travis about and talked to you about is just how teams are if now finally closing that gap on Bravado.
Yeah.
The team you were with for Huts now, you have to go against them now. But like you're kind of like just everyone's closing up on that gap now, and like where they were for at least 2 years, they were way ahead of everyone. It's kind of now just everyone's slowly just catching up to them.
Definitely.
And the last time a team that really challenged them was, I would say, the old Energy team at the NGL, where they knocked them to the loser bracket, and then
But that was one game.
there was the
It
loser
was the
bracket.
best of one, wasn't it? Where they knocked them.
Yeah,
Because they picked a Night Stalker.
yeah,
I remember.
it was best of one, and then they
Yeah.
played them again in the grand final, and then they lost 2-1, I think, or 2-0. I can't
I
remember.
think they lost 2-0.
Yeah,
I
because
think
they must have been
I think
mad.
it's just a lucky game.
Yeah.
Got away with.
They went
they're
there.
the
That
first team
Energy
to
squad
beat them,
went
I
there that tournament. They were like, we just want to come second because we want PCs. So it's just like they didn't care about that final game. They just wanted to come second so they could all get PCs. But the team itself, the Masters tournament now. So the top 4 teams and stuff like that. The everyone getting closer and closer together to teams getting the competition. Do you feel yourself that the competition is a lot tighter than it's ever been in terms of Dota 2 in South Africa?
100%.
Yeah.
Because it's always been BVD Ian first two. No one else ever even like took games off them. Like now this year there's like a team like WRG who's also proving very competitive. Like they take games off. Like I don't think BVD and Ian can take anyone like as it's a joke anymore. Like they can't just like pick troll drafts and stuff and get away with it anymore as much. Obviously they're still ahead BVD, but that gap is getting smaller, I feel.
Yeah.
And we said before, it's super important for the growth of the sport because it's not entertaining for people coming in when they go, oh, that's the best team and they never lose. Okay, cool. So they're playing now. Cool. So we know who's going to win this. This is lame.
Exactly.
When you come into sports, you want it to be competitive. You want there to be options.
Yeah. And like it's more exciting that way. Like if you look at, take for example, just one convention sport, look at the basketball. They have the East and West, You have really great teams, both East and West, and then they come together to play in the playoffs. I mean, that's what we need. We essentially need teams that might not meet each other a lot in the beginning stages of a major tournament, but then as that tournament progresses forward, it starts getting to a point where you have absolutely no idea who's going to take this final.
Big that you had like 3 regions, like Durban, Joburg, and Cape Town, separate regions, and they're all kind of, have enough teams and viable teams that can play each other off till right at the end of the.
Sorry about that.
Overwatch player of the game.
Yeah, it's a ringtone, man.
Is that the only way you get to hear it?
Yeah. No.
You said yeah.
You
I did. It's cool ringtone, man. I mean, I heard it first. I was like, after beta, I was like, I gotta put this on. I miss this game so much. But yeah, like getting to the point where the you don't know who's going to win the final. Yeah. Like now at obviously at the DGL Masters this year, I mean, everything's going to be on the line for a lot of these teams. I mean, we saw it in the CS, and we all
gets polished.
We all the teams were like, it was tight, but obviously we all knew Bravado was going to take it in. And now in terms of Dota, like it's the same thing. Like Bravado are perhaps the top team, but like there are a lot of teams that are just chasing right behind them, and anything can go wrong in these major tournaments. I mean, sometimes teams have bad lands, like the lucky game that NG took against them in the NGL. That could very easily happen. And the thing about Masters, and Masters is to my knowledge, is a single elimination tournament. It's group stages, single elim, out.
Oh, you weren't joking the pizzas,
To take a break for a second. Your mom's trying to call me twice, so just give her a call. But
your mom says hi.
Yeah. But yeah, so they haven't given you a date yet for the Masters, obviously.
Not that I'm aware of.
The rumor mill is next month.
Okay. Well, I mean, with less than a month to go, I think that we'd probably want to start getting some announcements.
Yeah, I think so. Like talking about how important social media is,
Yeah.
That's actually very true. And the one thing I've noticed about a lot of tournaments in South Africa is like their social media presence. Like, these little tournaments you see coming up every week and these things coming up. Like, there's no like hype. Like, there's no like this Immortals thing, they've done pretty well. Like, I've seen quite a lot of coverage of that online. I've seen a lot of posts and stuff like that. Same with those Athena leagues and the Jupiter League, whatever.
I think that's the same thing.
It's the same thing.
They're the same thing.
Yeah, they name a Greek god for each one. But
is there a Greek god called Immortal?
No, it's the Immortal tournament, but they'll have the Athena League, then Perseus, they've had...
Okay.
Okay. But the thing is that it's about stepping out of the eSports savvy group of people. It's like you put a post, all this stuff is advertised on like Dota2 South Africa Facebook group and one of the 7 Dota South Africa groups. You've got to get this stuff into, heck, even if it's like ZA Gaming Alliance or like just the greater gaming community first, and then onto like mainstream.
Yeah.
And I think that's half the problem. It's like, ask any Dota player, they know when, once DGL's announced, they'll know, where the Masters thing is happening and the times and the dates and all that. But the sport's not going to grow if you're only relying on what do you reckon, 10,000 Dota players in this country to share it. I mean, not all of them are into esports.
But you'd be surprised.
Grow the sport through getting new people and acquisitions because like you said, there's so many games out there, and you're competing for people's almost share of interest. I in all honesty on Twitch, from an esports point of view, only really watch Dota. Like big tournaments like MLG Columbus, that sort of stuff, like I'll watch, but I really only follow Dota on Twitch, and the other stuff is like popular Twitchers who are trying brand new games. Like you'll watch it just to see if the game's any good. But like you don't have time. Like you were saying that 5 minutes that you were spending watching Overwatch plays or whatever, it's not like, well, I've got to watch Dota because Dota is going to pay the bills. The other stuff's more for fun.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time I actually sat and watched a CSGO tournament. I mean, or played CSGO.
Yeah, because it's been about Overwatch for you.
Yeah, for me, it's been like the last few months, it's just been Overwatch. Well, last month at least, it's just been Overwatch.
Like we're saying, if you want to be dedicated to this, you almost have to pick one.
Yeah, but I still have to cast CSGO. But like I was rashing the other casters a while ago about how they really need to put a lot more time into playing CSGO. But that was when I was putting in 6-7 hours a day, and now I'm just like, guys, I haven't played CS since like March.
Remember that advice I gave you?
Just forget about it.
No, but like I that's why I keep Luca with me, because I just stick purely to play by play, and Luca's the one who's like got to drop the knowledge. I'm like, please, Luca, come in.
Fair enough, though. You get to a stage where, short of major patch notes or shifts in the meta, I mean, you're always going to know what's going on in CSGO. I mean, how long have you been out of Dota? You said about 1.5 years, 2 years?
2 years now, yeah.
You still pretty much know everything's going, except for maybe latest patch kind of in meta shifts and some of the new items. It's not like all of a sudden you're going to go, where did the third ancient come from? This is new, like the neutrals have their own army that attacks.
No, I think it's just for me the mechanics of Dota, like the understanding of how the game should be played and is played. I mean that I still can't understand, but like all these new items coming out and all these new heroes. Oh, there hasn't been a new hero since
I don't
Techies.
think there'll ever be like a new hero.
I don't see a need for Pitlord. Everyone's crying about Pitlord, but he was just a little fluff hero they added to Dota 1 anyway. It's not really that necessary.
Because of his ultimate.
Yeah. People just want to TP 6 people into a tower.
They'll walk around the ancient into 5 people TP. Which will never happen anyway.
Yeah, they'll nerf it as soon as it's out anyway.
But yeah, like
it randomly selects a hero that gets to go through with Pitlord. All the others stay behind.
But don't forget, isn't it level 16 you could take all 5?
It takes everyone around you.
Yeah.
So you teleport to a hero or
it's
units
like TP
or anything.
for the whole team.
Yeah, and then everyone around you teleports. So it's like everyone wants to put the Rexall Hawk in and then TP there and try backdoor the ancient. But realistically speaking, that happens like less than 1% of the time.
No, that would be.
But then they nerf him. But then people did with Arc Warden. The Arc Warden's thing was always in Dota 1. get him 2 rapiers, and he'll just send his illusion and walk right through your base.
Yeah, people still do that.
And then, but now they're going, but when they drop, they die. I mean, when they die, those items drop, like gems and rapiers and all that sort of stuff. So you have to play them differently. And I mean, when's the last time you saw Arc Warden pick competitively?
Oh yeah, is he out in competitive?
I remember Fear ran him once.
But he got hit with the nerf hammer quite hard.
Yeah, exactly. But that's what I'm saying. Is like a mechanic that people are saying is broken. Yeah, let's wait till it actually comes out first. I mean, Oracle was, quote unquote broke, and broken.
I've never seen Arc Warden. I've never seen Oracle. I didn't even play. That was actually one of the main reasons also I left Dota. I left Dota as techies came out because I knew
the game changed. Yeah,
everybody's gonna be fucking picking techies every single game.
So
for the first few months.
He's been nerfed. But he was picked so much in the beginning, and like you saw all those posts.
Even competitively, he was picked quite a bit.
Yeah, I remember.
RE 2000 also picked him up.
No ways. That hero, and like that thing was like, I like the old heroes. I liked the way Dota was, and they had to go and change it. I liked it. It was such a good game, and then everything just changed. But I mean, I can't remember the last time this is going to sound really terrible, but I can't remember the last time I bought a compendium even. I mean, I'm all for eSports.
TR4?
I had one
2 years ago?
TR4, yeah. Didn't buy one for TR5.
Which ironically was a horrible TR.
Yeah,
anyway.
TR4's compendium was amazing, but TR5, I watched TR5.
Collecting those cards.
Yeah. I watched TR5. I mean, I watched the international. I watched some of I like the EU hub and the hubs for the qualifiers. I mean, they're interesting to watch, but it's just. I leave them like on the background.
I want to go back to you learning. I don't want to say learning how to draft because I mean you obviously had some sort of knowledge, but like, is there any sort of resources you've been using to kind of upskill yourself on that point of view, like watching certain Twitches?
I mainly just try to watch as many
PPD
as I can.
Because have you seen PPDs and draft analyses? Those are legit.
It's when you watch them, it's easier to like watch them, but remember they drafting for a different meta as well.
Oh, 100%. They're creating the meta as it is.
You can't really copy exactly what they're doing.
No, not so much copying, but like the insights you give sometimes. What I loved is how they know the other players. Like we know players in our kind of pool of heroes because they'll go, wow. I remember one example we said like Broodmother's particularly strong here. But I know that the only guy who can play that on this team, he's not particularly on the opposing team. He's quite trash at it. And
exactly.
They say it quite outright. The guys
you do the same thing here. It's like someone's good or bad at the hero, you don't have to worry about it.
I mean, I've seen teams that just go, even if it's a hero's not in the meta, they'll just ban it because who they're playing against, the guy's got like 400 games on the hero. Exactly. It's like 80% win rate.
If you can play a hero top tier, then may as well ban it.
Yeah. So in terms of the teams, that you're going to be facing, coming up with this Masters thing, any particular heroes that you can call out on some of the other players? It was a question I was going to ask in terms of when we were talking about mids. Who do you think are the top mids? But I think as a drafting question, it shifted to what are those like have to ban heroes?
I think it's 225's Void.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know how he does it. But when that guy's Void, it's like the game can go anywhere.
I saw that when I was with you guys in Joburg, and then 225 ran that Void, and it
he's the Void god.
It was crazy. Offlane, like by himself, like it looked like the rest of the game was not really falling apart for WRG, but it wasn't going as strong. And then all of a sudden, out comes 225, gets like a 3-man Chronosphere and just wrecks everyone. And then it's like okay,
he's very good at Void.
It's crazy. But I remember there's a lot of like, and I mean, it's such a good thing to have in a team is someone who's so good at one hero and they know that the team's going to waste one of their bands, banning out that hero just because that guy has like a 90% win rate and like you said, 400 wins on this hero. And it's like, it's good for your team. I'm sure you guys have the same thing.
We had ACG and Zeus.
Yeah.
We used to pretty much beat a lot of teams with the Zeus pick.
Yeah,
and then people started first banning Zeus versus us.
And it's true. It's
not horrible. I mean,
people don't go towards the meta.
It's not really that important. Like,
they're not banning. They're not looking at whatever the meta is in South Africa, whatever the meta is internationally, because some of the teams do follow a lot of international standards in terms of their picks and bans. But if you're looking at like the player specific bans, like you want to take out Donnie's, you want to take out Donnie's, Doxia or Donnie's Puck. You don't have Puck offlane still a thing.
It's not as popular.
But back in the day, it was Donnie's Puck. You took out Donnie's Puck,
used to be.
and then nowadays you take out Odu's Bounty Hunter, stuff like that, because like those are the strong. I mean, I saw him absolutely tear teams apart as Bounty Hunter at that.
So many teams are picking up Bounty Hunter now.
Yeah,
it's part of that vision thing.
I mean, obviously there was a nerf team, if I'm not mistaken, a couple of months back where they took away some of the
personal track gold.
They nerfed him recently now as well with the track gold.
Yeah, so I mean, he used to be amazing. I used to love Bounty Hunter personally. I used to just play him offlane, literally just AFK last hitting creeps, and then when you get to level 6, you just roam, wreck everyone. You get so
AFK.
no, you kind of just you sit between.
There's a script you write.
No, you kind of just sit between. You just sit between like creeps. Yeah, you just sit and you get vision. I mean, you play more flame, play whatever. Even as now they're running Odoo plays support, and I mean,
it's only one of those.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I read something the other day. I was reading on Reddit about Ricky now being played as someone team picked Ricky as a support.
Substituting Bounty with Ricky now.
The thing is, Bounty is being nerfed. Well, not nerfed. Bounty's being blocked so much. I mean, he's very seldom even getting into the first pick stage. He doesn't survive the first 4 bans. And so they're kind of going, well, who's going to provide the vision? Since, like I said, Valve have made it really difficult to get vision. Even Track only gives you vision of the hero. You used to get vision of like kind of 600 AoE around them. Now you don't get that.
That was fun.
Bane's sleep doesn't give you vision.
Balls don't give you vision.
What about Nightstalker running with his
he's still super strong, especially with eggs.
Whole map basically.
But you see, they're reducing the heroes that give vision, so all of a sudden that means the heroes that can do that themselves, like instinctively, like the fact that Ricky's always invisible, he becomes like sweet. He's our roving scan intel. It's probably why they brought the scan functionality in. I don't know if you heard about that. You can scan the map and it will tell you if there's enemy heroes in that area.
Like the Terrans can in StarCraft.
Yeah, pretty much.
Doesn't give you vision, but it pings red if there's someone in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you can't use it in the pit.
Okay.
You can use it in the pit.
No, you can't. It doesn't show anything if you use it in the pit.
Oh. Well, there's normally like a support sitting outside.
Yeah, you got high ground or in the river.
There's
but
normally
if you go
a support
in the pit, it'll just go green. It's like, okay, sweet, there's no one in there.
Yeah, but there's like
Rosh has died.
99% of the time there's a support or something sitting outside Rosh.
But yeah,
the game has changed so much.
No, it has changed. I mean, what probably the most toxic combo at the moment I've seen in pubs is
Nix.
Yeah, Ricky Lifestealer. Because obviously Lifestealer jumps in Ricky, all of a sudden you have smoke screen on you, pop, the guy comes up, he holds you there, you
open smoke,
wound,
open wounds, anything's dead.
That's crazy.
I used to love Nix. That was one of my favorites.
Lifestealer,
as he's called now.
Strong hero.
Yeah, and it's just his power with his I can't remember what it is. It was Insatiable Hunger, or what's the one where he gets damage for creep with
open wounds.
No, open wounds. He had a passive. He's passive. Insatiable Hunger is Brood Mode as well. Yeah, but anyway, like he gets so much damage and makes last hitting so easy. Like you just get a Quelling Blade, and you just last hitting was
available anymore.
What?
Insatiable Hunger?
No, that's Brood Mother's spell.
Passive.
It's passive. I can't remember what it's called.
No, but it does it on the percentage HP that's remaining. So it's never really helped you last hit that much.
But with the Quelling Blade, like you can actually like almost, it made it nice to like keep equilibrium, like with the creeps. You can like almost keep the creeps. If you see one that's a little bit too high and the creep wave is about to end and your creep wave is higher, you can like knock them down pretty well.
Creep Blade always makes hitting creeps.
I used to always. I mean, I played support for my entire the short stint I tried to play competitive Dota back in like Dota 1 and Dota 2, very beginning, and like I used to personally prefer carry roles. I used to love playing carry. Whenever I played pubs, I was that idiot that picked carry, but then everyone's like, everyone cries. You got like
so what was your favorite carry, Carl?
Don't say Lifesteal.
No. I really enjoyed Anti-Mage. Like I really enjoyed Anti-Mage because
I'm done farming, guys.
I was like, no, like I loved going, like I never used to really do that like Battle Fury rush. I preferred playing it's like people, I think a lot of people, especially in pubs, they underestimate just how powerful an Anti-Mage can be in the early game. If you get a quick Battle Fury, a quick Vanguard, even if you go for a Vlads like that, you can tell if you're playing at the stack, cool guys, we're going to push hard at 12 minutes. We're going to start taking down towers. By the time you get these items, sure, you're not going to get a Battle Fury at 14 minutes. You're going to get a Battle Fury at 22 minutes, but you're also going to have a Vanguard or a Vlad, something like that. So like I used to like playing Anti-Mage and I'm trying to think what
Vanguard builds into Abyssal now. So it's got more utility. It used to just be like a
Vanguard builds into Abyssal.
Yeah.
They took away the relic away from Abyssal now, so it doesn't do as much damage.
Yeah.
But they also lowered the cooldown on the activator wall from Abyssal. So it's more for the lockdown and not for the damage anymore.
Okay, interesting.
So you see like PLs go Vanguard first and stuff because they later build into the...
PL, that was another hero I really enjoyed playing, was PL. But
Cancer.
I used to really enjoy playing PL. Back before, I remember he used to be so strong with his illusions. Like he used to just make millions of illusions and like he used to be so overpowered and they nerfed him.
So much now. It's I think
still
a 50% proc rate.
Because they nerfed him. I remember they nerfed him quite a bit, but like
they've completely redone his skills now.
Yeah,
he's more offensive, less defensive.
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah, I can't remember what other carry heroes there are that are popular. What's his name? Dazzle Dark Brew. What's his name? Alchemist. I used to like Alchemist a lot.
Teach all the old school names.
Dazzle Dark.
Yeah, I can't. Dude, I've lost everything.
I still do that. They're like, pick Rylai, and you see the new guys going, you talking about?
Yeah, it's like you're calling in game and it's like Dazzle, kill Dazzle. There's no fucking Dazzle. No, Dazzle Dark Brew's there. It's the same. But yeah, I don't know. And supports is just, I love playing like, Dazzle and different weird things. Like I used to be able to carry I just pick random heroes. Like I play Omni Knight, carry with Omni Knight. You know,
the Battle Fury mom.
Yeah, you just put on your shield, you slow them with the Deegan's aura and just hit them, dude. Take them down. Get a radiance. Yeah, pubs were really fun, but we always used to play in stacks. So like pubs were easy, and we always used to fuck around and have fun.
Yeah, solo queues aren't fun.
I did solo queue for ranked, but back then it was still okay because everyone was trying to be really good and trying to get good ranks. So like if you join the game, you're like, cool guys, who want someone to be like, okay, who's playing what? Okay, cool, I'll play this. Cool, I'll play this. And it was hundreds. You go, you get a good rank. Nowadays it's like, fuck you, I'm picking whatever I want.
Middle feed, cam feeding.
Yeah, it was an odd game where someone wanted to do mid.
Not so much. It's so surprising when you solo queue and you get a team where everyone's like, I'll support, here's wards.
It's like, what is this?
Like, what's going on?
So that was me. I played all my ranked games as support. So that was me. I just played support and just bought wards.
Well, that's what happened. You left, and now you ruined the scene for the rest of us.
No one wants to play support. But let's talk about APG. I think we haven't really spoken too much about them. So obviously the organization itself is actually picking up a lot this year. We've seen a lot of media coverage on them. We've seen a lot of interviews, a lot of stuff like that. All these different things with the CS particularly, but also the Dota as well. Like it used to be, people would look at a team like APG and be like, they maybe just got a Dota team just to be in the Masters or something like that. They have a good CS team and then they've got a Dota team which is up and coming. But now you guys have kind of put yourself out there. They're now ranging in the top 4 in the country at the moment for APG. Do you also have these ambitions that you're hoping to get sent overseas for playing in international tournaments, stuff like that?
I mean, everyone's always hoping for that.
Yeah.
It'd be crazy not to dream big. But you never know it's coming down the line. But obviously we want to go as far as possible. We all put in a huge amount of hours. And
do you guys like study? Do you work? Like what's your vibe in the team? Like
we do study. We all all students. 3 of us study. I'm not sure what the other 2 do.
Play Dota all the time.
I think so.
It's always good to have that one person whose parents are like either filthy rich and they're like, it's cool. We've got a trust fund that's gonna.
That's the phalanx.
I got a trust fund that's gonna sort me out for the rest of my life. My parents are billionaires. I can just play Dota all day. But yeah, that I mean, it's great, and that's the thing. Like a lot of these organizations trying to realize now, it's no longer just I want to have my own brand team. Like a lot of these guys are putting in a ton of effort into growing their organization, and I feel like, as of late, APG is probably one of the clans that has actually done so much in terms of not only their social media presence, but just, pulling in all the right people to handle whatever. And I mean, it started as Tience's Battlefield team. That was it. It was Tience's little Battlefield team. And then Miles came on board with the MSI, etc., and all the sponsorships and stuff like that came on board. And now it's just like this boom. And at the moment, you guys is there still a Battlefield team? It's just CS and Dota now. So. It's just CS and Dota. Same with many clans in the country. Like even Bravado after the HOTS team dropped.
I think Battlefield's a dead game now.
Well, we'll see what one does, but
Battlefield just
but it's.
They have the most active community. Like I'm not gonna lie, you probably aren't in the Battlefield group.
I used to play Battlefield 3. I stopped when Battlefield 4 came out.
Yeah, Battlefield 3 was great. But like the Battlefield group is I mean, they're very active. There's a lot of people in there talking every day. There's postings about at least like 20 posts a day on their group.
I always see the DGL when with the actual Rage tournament.
Yeah.
It's
a very tight knit.
Very crowded and everyone's
that's cool, man.
But there's just like there's no like hype coming because like one thing I want to say is casters people might think this, but casters actually do bring a lot to a scene because they do give a platform to guys to watch on. I mean, even if you're pulling in 10 viewers a stream, doesn't matter. You still are
objective hype, if you know what I mean. Like when you're in the team hyping up the game, when you're one of the 5 people on the Dota scene, Dota teams, and you're hyping up the game, it's kind of like, you're excited about the game because you're playing in it. You know what I mean? Whereas like I feel like in a weird way, casters and neutral spectators, when they hype up a game, it almost feels like more authentic.
Oh yeah,
if you know what I mean, like especially if they're not even casting the game because they're like hyping up a game because this is a legit going to be an awesome game to watch.
Look at the international scene. It's the same. Like people just look at all the Reddit. Like Reddit's covered in threads. Like over like 200,000 subscribers to a Reddit talking about the international comp stuff like that.
A qualifier, not even like a main game. Like it's
like we get a lot of like when someone like posts like look at this Immortals tournament now. People post it there and like it gets a couple of comments, a couple of likes, whatever. But no one's like talking about it. No one's like saying I can't wait to see APG versus Energy tonight at 8 p.m. It's going to be such a great game. Who do you guys think is going to win? And
my major thing is I don't think that information is widely shared enough. because I mean, I've been involved in situations where like you're going to be casting the game and you're finding out about the times or the day of. Then it's like, oh no, sorry guys, we had to move it from 7 to 9. You're telling me, and I'm involved. I'm one of the 11 people who are actually involved in this thing, and I'm being told 2 hours before. How is everyone who's supposed to support going to know this? And I know I'm using a ridiculous example, but imagine a test match rugby situation where they tell the ref and the players, oh guys, cool, sorry, we're starting 2 hours earlier. Everyone else will just find out. You're like, you're kidding. You've got millions of people watching on TV. You've got the 60,000 in the stadium. They arrive and, what do you mean it's half time? Because it starts at 7. No, we decided 6 was more convenient for everyone.
Yeah.
It's just like...
But it's also, I mean, it's like, it's just such a messed up thing. Like, obviously, you guys don't always have the time. Like, you might set a time and all of a sudden someone comes home, they're like, I need you to help me with something quick. And you're like, shit, I got a game starting in an hour. And then you're like, oh, guys, can we just postpone for another half an hour? Then the casters are like, well, the game's postponed. The spectators like, where's the game? And like, it's something we can't really account for. And that's why when we get to a stage where, you know, guys are living in gamer houses or they got their own apartments with the team or something like that, and they're working together and whatever. And then it gets to a stage where, cool, if guys says games at 8, games at 8. And then we have a week to hype it up. Week to build up all this audience, stuff like that.
I honestly think that's going to be a key part. Once you have a schedule where you go like, say, I know they tried it for the longest time at DGL where like the Prem games were locked in. It was like Wednesdays at 8 and Sundays at 8. And that the games were on then. I think that's what we need to get to. You've got to get to the stage where, say, Arena's doing the games, if it's like your main Prem game, whatever, it's like Wednesdays 8. So people must know. They don't care who's playing. They just know that you're going to see the top Overwatch or CSGO or Dota, whatever you guys are doing, at 8 o'clock Wednesdays. That's when you watch. Like
for example, now with this Overwatch tournament we're doing, like Luca and I have a casting schedule, which we need to get teams in. Yeah. And we try to communicate with the teams. They don't often respond. We know maybe 4 guys in the top 4 teams, something like that. So I've speak to them. I'm like, when's your game? Oh, no, we played that game already. I'm like, cool, thanks for telling us. And the next guy, okay, we want to do you guys. We see you guys have scheduled a match for this. Oh, no, we decided to play that. We decided we cancel that game. We do it another time. Okay, cool. Then we finally get a game, and we're like, cool. We message. And you got 2 days to hype instead of we had one time. We had 2 days to do this. And we hyped it up. We got the posts on the Reddit social media, Steel Series, Megarom. Everyone got involved, making posts, whatever. We did a couple of posts. It was good. And then we started the stream at 8. We already built in like 30 viewers. Like, it was quite a lot for Overwatch. We were building viewers. And then one team's like, oh, one of our players' PC's not working. We're rather just going to play a scrim against this team with one European player. And then we're like, well, we can't really broadcast this as the Arena Championship because you have a European player. And then we're like, sorry guys, stream off. And like, you know, these things, you can't really account for these things in gaming. Like the cricket example is perfect, but it would never ever happen. Yeah. Because like it's a whole like thing.
But you want to go at what point the power?
It's them. They need to sort this out.
No, but
what are you putting them before?
We said it before, but there's a power relationship between the broadcasters and / the sponsors, the players and the fans. And I honestly feel like the moment at eSports, whether rightly or wrongly, everything is kind of focused on growing the player base / sponsorship. Yeah. And I feel like where the real growth is going to come from is by focusing on the spectators. If you make this thing fun to watch, more fun than the alternatives they have, and at the same standard of, or at least a comparable standard to the international, you will get viewers. And then that excites the sponsors because they go, oh, well, people are actually watching these things, so then more money comes, and that excites the players and brings in more players because they go, hey, I can make a legit thing out of this because it's not only the top teams getting paid, it's the top 8 getting paid because the prize pools are bigger. And then it's just a circle. But I feel at the moment it's like almost the redheaded stepchild is the spectators, when I honestly feel like that's the most important part.
Yeah. No.
Because I mean, we'll have a massive event and you'll get like 3,000 people on stream, and that's considered good. It's like, how is that considered good? Like, you'll have games on kind of Dota Lounge internationally that get more than 3,000 people in game, let alone on Twitch. And that's not considered good. That's kind of like par for the course.
Yeah, that's the problem with Dota. It's the in-game client, I think. Damages Twitch viewership.
Yeah, it does.
Take screenshots, like, look, sponsors, we got a lot of views, but they didn't see your logo or your brand or anything, but we got the views. Yeah. But I mean, like APG, one thing, talking about support from sponsors and stuff like that, I mean, the one thing I've noticed is you see a lot of posts from sponsors about teams, which I think is really good because you don't, besides paying for flights, giving them gear, doing this for them, like, they have to give them exposure. Posting about the teams they sponsor. So I use the example because I saw on MSI. That's where I saw the energy game tonight. Is MSI actually did a tweet and a Facebook post about their game, their results, and their game coming up, and that is fantastic because they have quite a large following. They're a brand, so they got a large following. People are like, cool. Oh, there's an MSI sponsors a team, or Aces sponsors this team. Cool. Let's go watch them. Let's go see what they're doing. And then that also helps a lot. And that's one thing I've always noticed from these brands that sponsor people. They're just happy to let them use their gear and be tagged along on a shirt or something like that. But there needs to be a give, a give and take from the sponsors as well. They need to start providing exposure for these players too, because in the end, it's really not going to damage their brand. Sure, if MSR posts and says, oh, APG are playing Energy, good luck, and then APG lose, they're not going to lose, and they're not going to lose money because their team lost. It doesn't matter. They are giving them plenty of exposure, and I'm personally, I'm really excited for APG. Like they're doing a lot of things right at the moment, and this is what differentiates clans. You look at some other clans who have kind of just fallen off the map, essentially. Like I could name a few, but I'm not going to. But they're starting to fall off the map because these other new clans are just coming up. Teams just going up, and it's largely backed by these organizations with very, very dedicated guys who are making sure that everything stays up to date. And players as well, like yourself, tweeting, doing giveaways and stuff like that. You should motivate all your teammates. I even see Cannibalistic from the APG CSGO.
Get like 5 likes, 8 likes.
Yeah, but you must teach them how. Tell them how. It's like, you don't need those skins. I mean, are they going to make you a better ACG? Is that going to make you a better Zeus? That Zeus Arcana, is that going to make you better? No, give it away.
He thinks it does. Ask him.
Give it away. Give it to one of your lucky followers.
Sound like Chili Peppers,
I promise you give away one item and you use a program like Gleam or something like that to generate proper competition. You can grow if you say 5 followers, you can get like 500 within a week if you extend it. Like, it's crazy. I mean, you've got people running your social media. Talk to them, be like, how do I get followers? They'll tell you exactly. Boom, this is how you do it.
That's how you start. I mean, just to get interest, because you don't want people to just go, cool, I'm here for the free Zeus Arcana. Oh, it's gone already. Cheers.
You will always get like 500 followers in the competitions guy, and you'll lose like 20. That always happens. But then the 480 that stay are the ones that will be interested in whatever you post, and just regular posts all the time, even if you flood it, sponsorship posts and stuff like that. But yeah, it's great. So we've gone off on a little bit of a tangent there.
Well, I want to ask, you spoke about the esports scene and it's growing and all that. What do you feel is kind of, as a player, like that's missing or that needs to kind of develop, for it to kind of move forward? Because it feels like it's moving, but there's kind of this glacial speed that it's moving at.
I think you kind of touched on it earlier, where the players need to be like celebrities almost, as in like, because the one thing I noticed is like people often like smack talk local players, and like a lot of people I know, like they don't want to post in Dota 2 South Africa because of the negative feedback they're going to get. It's like you post on there, oh okay, people are going to start trolling you and all that. Like I think those people need to start being like more supportive of like those kind of things. Like
you mean the players themselves need to be more supportive of their community.
I think so.
Give back.
100%, because it feels like they're like 5 or 6 pro or prem or near prem level guys that kind of dominate the conversation in those Facebook groups.
Yeah, and it's like just trolling each other.
Yeah, basically. And so it becomes a little boys club doing their own thing.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I'm not saying someone has to come in knight in shining armor and kind of like, no more racist stuff and no more, but be part of that conversation rather than hiding away from it.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Okay.
I think that's one of the things.
The celeb thing is hard because it's like, someone just decides like, I'm a celebrity now. You need to treat me like a celebrity.
No, definitely.
But I think definitely guys need to
be
more involved in like giving information, because there are people who are watching guys like yourselves and they want to go like, how does he do what he does, sort of thing. And what I've always appreciated in following some of the guys on like Twitter and Twitch and all that sort of stuff is like they let you into the behind the scenes stuff that you don't get to see. So like, for example, I'm a huge fan of PPD and the stuff that he does on social media, because like, you can watch his stream and you see he's like a pretty average player when he's not when he's not running a team. He's a very good captain and all that, and as a sport, but often in his Twitch he's playing a carry role, and he's a kind of I think low 6,000 MMR kind of carry. But it's the kind of thing of, and you can watch plenty of guys who are far more entertaining than him. But what I dig is like his patch analyses he does. I dig the stuff when he does a vlog at the tournaments. So he's like walking around in the hotel rooms and he's like he's doing almost interviews, but like how's it, high five sort of things with all the players, and you're like, that is awesome, because there are only, let's be honest, 60 people who could do that, who are having that experience, and half of them are Chinese, you wouldn't understand what they're doing. So like, they're only about 30. So I think it's almost like for the players to go, if you're going to the tournament, the MGO thing in July, wherever it happens, is to tweet from behind the scenes, take photos, Snapchat, all those sort of things. Because like there are enough guys going, I can watch the Twitch stream, but I can't be in those four walls.
Yeah, I actually did that with my Facebook and my Twitter.
And that's a great idea because people go like, oh my word, you want to see what's really happening behind the scenes? You want to see their setup, their hotel rooms, their all that sort of stuff. Like follow Adastam because he's
like I was taking pictures and stuff of like actually behind the scene, like with like Ferengs holding his PC and walking up to the thing and
that's rad.
Interviews, high
More
fives.
people should be doing that, man. Especially Facebook Live now. Like,
Facebook Live from the actual event. But what you're saying about the whole celebrities and you can't just call yourself a celebrity, I was actually watched a very interesting interview with Howard Stern, the radio host, and and he was speaking about he was speaking to who's that knob from the UK that no one likes.
Stern?
The knob from the UK that no one likes. I can't remember his name now. But they were doing an interview.
I think I know who you're talking about. He was on that
X Factor or whatever. He was talking about Michael Jackson, about how in the 90s he just called himself the king of pop. No one else called him that, but he called himself the king of pop. And then
the name's gonna kill me.
How do we remember him now? He's the king of pop. And he was talking about how Michael Jackson did this. And then as a joke in the 90s, Howard Stern started to call himself the king of all media. And then as a joke, just joking around, I'm the king of all media. And now that name kind of stuck. And some people remember him as the king of all media. Then, of course, the UK knob said, no, I'm the king of all media. And then they had an argument about who's the king of all media and who's better. And then Howard Stern telling him, no, you shit at interviewing people. Let me teach you how to do it properly. It's going to irritate me.
I know. I was like, I was going to say, what, dude? Okay, our English guy.
I'm staring at his face right now. I can't think of his name. But anyway, so like, you can call yourself, because if, like, for example, I mean, this is going to sound horribly arrogant. If someone comes to me and says, what is it you do? I'll be like, I'm an esports personality.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call myself a celebrity, but I'm an esports personality.
I think my beard's more famous than I am. So half the time,
that's actually true. People
Roshford. The bearded guy.
The Kunka. My friend still calls you Kunka. Saki. He's like, Kunka. But you can actually call yourself. And the same people always say, they can't call themselves professional gamers. They play for a South African team. You can fucking call yourself a professional gamer. You're doing this as a profession. A lot of these guys, like Travis said last week, you make a decent amount of money from winning these tournaments. It stops you from having to go get a waitering job. That is your profession. Your profession is...
You're saying as an 18-year-old, you compare into what other 18-year-olds earn. It's like...
he's making a good amount of money. It's not millions yet. It's just a decent amount of money. But... we have to give our Mr. Adastam a final question. Because we're going to get shouted at by our producer once again. Or director, what do you call him? Producer, director? Mr. RoBoHoBo?
I don't know.
Landlord. Roommate, landlord, producer, boss, CEO. But Mr. Adam, we're going to ask you what we ask all the professional players that come in here. We're going to ask you to... tell us, give us some advice. We always just want advice. I mean, you actually did give a very good point earlier on the podcast about getting noticed and stuff like that. But let's talk. I want to ask you personally about just your own personal practice regime. Like, what do you do? Like, you wake up in the morning, like in terms
how do you get good?
How do you get good? Do you watch? Mates. Do you look at your replays? Do you do this, or what do you do as a person every day to just make sure your game you get better than the day before? Put it that way.
Well, basically, ranked is a key aspect in that.
You're talking about like EU stuff.
EU ranked, SA ranked.
Just not enough players.
Not enough players. So basically, EU ranked is crucial. You have to watch once every few games. You got to watch replay. I normally watch it on high speed, and then you can kind of just see where everything goes and what time the supports make rotations, like where the most common ward spots are, like small stuff like that. And then you also got to watch like your game, like where can you improve. Like mainly for me is I try to watch my efficiency as a carry. Like how can I improve on my GPM? How can I be more efficient farming in the jungle? And then I start noticing like, if I start chopping down these trees with growing bed, I can slowly move through the jungle quicker and all that. Just like small things you got to try to watch out for.
Do you spam heroes or do you try and keep a good variety when you play?
When I spam heroes, I normally play three games in a row, then I get kind of bored.
Okay.
But I'll normally do like a rotation kind of. Like if I think I'm bad on a hero, I'll start playing it until I feel comfortable on it.
Okay.
And
does that ever come out as kind of like, because you're drafting, so maybe it's less so because you know what your kind of weaknesses are compared to others. But when you played in teams that someone else is drafting for you, did that ever come out? So for example, they're going, I really want you to play Gyro. And you're like, Gyro's not like in my top 10 heroes. So like then you go to the drawing board and kind of spam out Gyro for 10, 20 games,
The only hero I'd say I've done that on is Batrider.
Okay.
When he used to be mid, like around the
They're like
TI3
TI3,
days where S4 is spam. That's, I think, the only hero I wasn't ever very comfortable on for like carry and mid. Otherwise, I'm comfortable with most heroes.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's important to play a lot of various heroes because you learn the mechanics of those heroes as well. So you learn their timings. Them, playing as them, and then it actually helps you when you're playing against them because you know what that hero can do when they can do it. But yeah. Fantastic. That was so. It's just to sum that up, it's just watching your replays, looking at what you can do better, and even just down to the smallest thing you just said, chopping down trees to make efficient run to the forest. I didn't even think of that. Like that's like there's something so small, and obviously, but Adam, thanks so much for coming to chat to us. I mean, we're really enjoying. I'm really enjoying these players coming in and talking. I mean, it gives us a little bit of a rounded view. We'll definitely have to get.
Carl keeps checking, like, okay, how much have I missed in there? It's like, okay, chopping through cheese, cool.
Yeah. Gotta make. I'm busy gathering more information. I'll make my amazing comeback in a few years' time. But we need to get some other titles in here. We've done Dota and CS till pretty much every week. Now we started getting some Super Smash Bros.
Super Smash Bros.
But thanks so much, Adam.
Okay, cool. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, cheers.
And we good luck for the Masters, obviously, and good luck for the energy game tonight.
I'll try my best.
Anyway, and I'm gonna plug and say people must subscribe because obviously now these podcasts are starting to do pretty well. We're starting to get a couple of good views coming. Don't forget,
feedback's been great as well.
Leave your comments, obviously. If you want to be on the O Show, obviously, you can let us know if you feel you're an interesting person in the esports scene or even in the gaming scene. Any general game, you can be a developer. We actually are looking. I want to really chat to a South African local developer. Anyway, hit us up in the comments or send a mail to info@arena. But anyway, that's it from us today. Cheers.